SD then, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna walk over together to the street glide. We'll come back to the SD, okay?
All right.
Because the controls are gonna be the same. Holly? Yeah, a lot of different. Be the same thing for you over there, just so you know as well.
All right.
Ride the bike already at all?
No, I haven't. I took out the 131, but I haven't rode this yet.
So remember how I talked about that extra mode on this one here?
Yep.
It's going to be locked out totally though.
Okay.
On city streets.
Right.
DOT doesn't allow a track mode to be active on a city street.
Ah.
You're more than welcome to hop on. Yeah.
All right, guys, we are taking out the Road Glide ST.
It's loading up, as you can see.
Okay.
Put it into rain mode. Exactly. So just while we leave out of here, we're in rain mode, just to avoid that issue, okay?
Okay.
Same buttons though. Left blinker horn, right blinker mode, emergency flashers. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Pretty comfortable and everything?
Yep.
Great, go ready to start up. We're gonna go down this aisle right here, around that big road right there, towards the palm trees, okay?
All right. Boy, this thing looks good in person because I haven't seen one in person. And the big thing is, this is the very first Road Glide I have ever ridden. I've never rode a fixed bearing bike yet, so this is going to be different on so many levels for me. Being that it's the CVO and a Road Glide, I'm excited to see how this thing feels, the new suspension, just the whole bike in general. And I've heard great things about this bike, so I'm excited. So, here we go, finally on the course. Let's switch it into sport mode. Oh, that's not sport mode. Now we're in sport, but it's like the guy was saying earlier, there's another mode on this bike, but it's disabled, which I get because it's a demo bike and it's track mode. That'd been pretty cool to use, but again, I understand why, because some people would probably get out here, put it in track mode and get real crazy with it and probably get hurt. So I completely understand why they disabled track mode. And it's like the guy was saying, DOT, you're not supposed to put it in track mode on the street anyway. Not saying that people wouldn't do that. Just pushing that back brake, I can tell it's touchy. So I don't have to put much pressure on this rear brake, and it just whoop, wants to stop with me pretty quick. All right, let's open it up. Come on. Oh yeah. Come on. Let's go. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Woo, yes. This thing gets up and goes. And suspension, oh my lord, I mean, it feels amazing. I mean, I haven't hit any real bumps yet, but dang, the suspension is definitely an improvement. I already know it's got remote reservoir on the rear. I mean, so that's already a huge improvement, but especially for a factory bike and the suspension to feel like this, oh my lord. The seat doesn't feel too bad, but it does feel a lot more on that stiffer side than my Saddleman seat. So I would definitely throw a Saddleman on here. I mean, that's just my preference. It does feel a little bit more on that stiffer side. Now, this being my very first road glide, I thought I wouldn't like the fairing the way it is, but maybe it's because it's the new fairing style. So after I get done riding this one, I need to ride an older Road Glide and see how that is. Because one thing I do like is that I'm able to stare more over the windshield and the fairing on this bike and see what's in front of me, because on my Street Glide I'm right at the windshield. Not that I got a tall windshield on it, but because the fairing being so much closer to me, it sits up a little bit higher. So going into the turn, it's not bothering me that the fairing's not moving like my Street Glide. But I do think because of it being out, it being lower, that I'm staring over it, that's why it's not bothering me. Because that's all I've ridden is where the fairings move with the handlebars. But I really wish I could put some miles on this bike than the short track. Not that it's a really short track and it's got some curves, but really put it out there, put some miles on it, do a long trip on it, because just this little bit, just the performance, the way it's handling, I'm not scared to throw it into the turn. That's like the only thing really. I just want to change out the handlebars, just put a little bit taller and more T-bar style, probably not as wide, and it'd be perfect. I mean, and that's a real simple change. Wouldn't take nothing to do it. So I'm in love with this bike. Awesome color, awesome performance. Well, okay, I take that back. One other thing, seat. So two things I got to do to this bike if I ever got one. Two things. Because plenty of power, especially compared to my 106. And being that it's a CVO, I really would not change a lot on it or want to, because it being a CVO. Just a few little cosmetic things, to be honest. I hit the rev limiter on this bike so blast easy, especially in first. This thing is just quick. I'm not used to hitting the rev limiter that quick. Alright, let's get going. I need to get over. Okay, it needs a different exhaust though to make it sound a little bit louder, because it is a little bit quiet. Now that I've gotten near the end and actually standing still where I can rev it, it is a little quiet. So put a different exhaust on to make it a little bit louder, because I mean, for the horsepower and torque that's in this thing, yeah, I'd like it to sound a little bit meaner. I mean, it don't sound bad, just a tad bit quiet. Because right now I can't even hear it. It almost feels like, if I didn't feel the vibration, I would think it had shut off. It's that quiet. Sounds like a sewing machine, too much. So, yeah, three things now. Three things. But overall, Amazing bike. I mean, so Harley really hit it out of the ballpark with this bike. Just amazing job. I mean, I'm not a big Road Glide fan. I know I'm gonna get some comments on that, but that's because I ride a Street Glide. I like my Street Glide, but if I was gonna convert over to a Road Glide, this would probably be the one for me, to be honest. But alright guys, I'm gonna call it there because I'm about to have to take this bike back and drop it back off.